Yes, once again, I welcome you
Yes,
to this
once again, I
e-facilitation
welcome you
on
to this
ANP506.
e-facilitation.
As you already know, my name is Dr.
506.
Abayomi
As you already
Samuel
know, my
Bankole,
name is
and
Dr.
I am your course
Abayomi
facilitator
Samuel Bankole,
for
and I am your course
ANP506.
facilitator
During
for
this e-facilitation
ANP506. During
this time
this
around, yes, we
e-facilitation
have gone
this time around,
a bit far
yes, we have
in our
gone
e-facilitation,
a
and
bit
I'm
far
sure you have been
in
enjoying
our
the journey thus far. We have
e-facilitation.
dealt with 4 topics in the last 4 weeks, and the last one we dealt with was on the common livestock diseases of animals and their crosses in Nigeria. And we focus on bacteria,
And their crosses.
viral, and parasitic diseases last week. Now, this week, we want to deal with metabolic or nutritional diseases of livestock, and also want to look at plant poisons in our livestock. I want to look at how we can prevent these conditions. Now, it's going to be very interesting, of course, as always. Therefore, without waste of time, let us go to class. Let us go to class. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. You're welcome on board once again. Let's go. Yes, you are welcome on board once again. The topic, as I've mentioned in the introductory uh, video, is metabolic or nutritional diseases and plant poisons in livestock animals. Yes, you know my name already, and you can always reach me using this institution email ahsbankole@noun.edu.ng. Yes, let's move quickly. We don't have much time today. Yes, by way of introduction, we want to look at what are metabolic diseases, what are nutritional diseases, and what are plant poisons. All right, let's start. Now, metabolic diseases are non-infectious diseases that result from a disturbance in metabolic processes in our animals. While on the other hand, nutritional diseases, though are non-infectious diseases or conditions, but this usually results from malnutrition or undernutrition. Now, whether they are metabolic or nutritional, these conditions affect the reproductive uh, uh, impact. It has an reproductive impact on our animals, and some can even be fatal. Therefore, we need to give proper attention to these conditions. Now, if we want to talk of the plants, some plants contain toxic substances that are harmful to ruminants, and plants that contain high amount of toxic substances are usually poisonous to our animals. Now, plant toxins often cause injuries to ruminant animals, especially during grazing. The part of the plant eating, the quantity eating, I mean the poisonous plant now, and the age of plant as well as the season of the year are common factors that determine how severe poisoning can be in our animals. Straight to the point, we are starting with metabolic diseases. We'll take a few and we'll go to nutritional diseases, and of course we consider plant poisons. All right, let's start. Metabolic diseases. Number one we'll be considering today is bloat. You want to echo it with me? Yes, bloat. It's also referred to as tympani. Sometimes we call it ruminant tympani. Now, bloat is characterized by distension of the rumen and the reticulum in ruminants with gas. Most often, uh, what you find there is carbon dioxide and methane. And this usually results from overfeeding with grains and some types of legumes or pastures. Uh, this type of bloat is often called primary bloat or fruity bloat. Now, bloat can also result from an obstruction in the rumen, not just by distension by gas, but if there is an obstruction in the rumen or there's some sort of interference with the mechanism of eruption, then you have a second type of bloat, which is known as secondary or free gas bloat. Now, normally, gas from the metabolic activities are expected to be expelled through the bloodstream to, to the lungs, and this is removed by eruption or belching process. If this is prevented from happening, what results is the distension or bloat, which puts pressure on the diaphragm, and this can result in death, sudden death, either due to asphyxiation or shock. Now, what are symptoms of bloat? Symptoms include ruminal distension, discomfort, difficult breathing, and even sudden death, as I earlier mentioned. What are the preventive measures? In preventive measures here involves avoiding overfeeding of animals with cereals and spraying suspected pastures with oil that can prevent uh, bloating. Treatment can be done by the administration of anti-foaming agents or use of stomach tubes to expel gas. It can also be done by what we call trocarization and rumenotomy. However, treatments must be carried out by a trained personnel, preferably a veterinarian. Veterinarian. Yes, you can see this cattle on the left of the slide is very highly bloated. You can see the stomach like times two the size of the body extending towards the side. That is bloating for you there. Oh, this other one wasn't so lucky. Before any intervention could take place, this other ruminant on the right side of the slide died of bloat. You can see, we told you there can be death. Sudden death can result due to asphyxiation or or shock. All right. Now, let's look at the second metabolic disease we'll be considering today, and that is pregnancy toxemia, pregnancy toxemia or ketosis. Now, pregnancy toxemia is an acute metabolic disorder of ruminants. Now, essentially, this condition is an hypocalcemic condition that is characterized by ketone bodies accumulation in the blood. However, there is an abnormal metabolism of carbohydrates and fats which occur at the final stage of pregnancy, and of course that's why it's associated with pregnancy, and that's why we call it pregnancy toxemia. It could have been just ketosis. All right, now this condition occurs, like we said, late in pregnancy or soon after calving, lambing, or kidding, because the ruminant, and It can also occur in early lactation. This condition is common with twin pregnancies or large single lambs. Now, more specifically, this condition is due to a lack of glucose as an energy source, either from poor nutrition, excessive demand from multiple feed sources, or a combination of these two. Now, symptoms vary with individual animals, but uh, commonly you will see anorexia, depression, recumbency, and death may follow. Now, treatment is usually aimed at correcting the energy deficiency, the electrolyte imbalance, and rehydration. Pregnant animals must be adequately fed with proper hygienic practice. Now, number three metabolic disease we shall be considering today is what we call parturient paresis, commonly called milk fever. Yes, you would have heard of milk fever before. That's what we are talking about now. Now, this is a condition that occurs in ruminants just before or after parturition. Oh, maybe you don't know what parturition is. Of course, parturition is that process of delivery of the young one in our animals, or is that parturition. So, it's that condition that occurs just before parturition or after parturition. Now, it occurs as a result of insufficient calcium in the diet of the pregnant animal to meet fetal needs or milk production soon after parturition. This is a condition that is common in ewes, since ewes' milk contain more calcium than that of the cow. Now, you will see symptoms such as weakness, stiff gait, hyperactivity, and lateral recumbency. Prevention is by ensuring that pregnant animals receive adequate amounts of calcium in the diet. Treatment is by intravenous administration of calcium. Oh yes, it is a calf that died of milk fever or hypocalcemia. You can see the animal just there, it's dead, it's gone. Yes, so that's to tell you that milk fever can be very dangerous. So you want to provide uh, enough calcium for the animal during uh, 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 pregnancy. Now let's go to nutritional diseases. Just a brief we are going to mention here. We may be considering deeply much later. Now, in order to achieve maximum production from ruminant animals, they must be provided with adequate nutrients with a combination of protein, carbohydrates, lipids, vitamins, minerals, and water. And in practical terms, nutrition can be inadequate either through being insufficient, that's what we normally refer to as undernutrition, or inappropriately balanced in relation to animals' need. We call that malnutrition. Now, nutritional diseases are basically deficiencies in these nutrients, and deficiency diseases are very important, not only because they reduce productivity, but because they can trigger off infectious diseases by causing reduced resistance or providing the basis of picker that drives ruminants to come in contact with soil-borne infections. Uh, Now, examples of common deficiency disease conditions include copper, sodium, iron, and various vitamin deficiencies. Now, the first class activity for today is what we are seeing right here. Yes, that is it. I just wanted you to read through. Please take notes of this and ensure you attend to this class activity. Very, very important. Now, let's go to plant poisoning. Plant poisoning. Now, why do ruminants consume poisonous plants? That should cross your mind. I mean, these animals, why do they go for poisonous plants? Don't they know them? Now, we shall address this matter right away. Now, most cases of plant poisoning in ruminants occur during the dry season when pasture is limited or when areas available for grazing is reduced, as occur in some farming communities. Now, ruminants may also consume poisonous plants when their ration is unbalanced, therefore crave for nutrients that are absent from the ration. Now, grazing ruminants in overgrazed areas can also expose animals to eating poisonous plants that they normally would not eat due to shortage of pasture. Now, what are symptoms of plant poisons generally? Symptoms of plant poisoning depend on the toxic substance that the animal had consumed in the plant. However, the common symptoms to most of these conditions of this plant poison include profuse salivation, abdominal pain, or colic bloat, as we have dealt with earlier, or other forms of severe digestive discomfort and even sudden death. So this can be very dangerous, so you want to take care of that. Now, let's look at common poisonous plants in Nigeria. Common poisonous plants in Nigeria that can be grazed by ruminants include Calotropis procera, normally called giant milkweed. You find another one is Erythrophilum africanum, that is the African blackwood. Another one is Lasiosiphon krausi. Another is Ipomia acerifolia. We also have Sorghum bicolor. Have another one, Cassia occidentalis. You also have Jatropha coccus. We have Manihot esculenta, Cassia tora, Balanitis aegyptica. We also have Prosopis obloga. Now, there are so many of them. I just decided to talk or mention these ones. Now, toxic components of these plants, various plants we have just mentioned, that animals consume include nitrates, oxalates, fluoroacetate, selenium, etc., etc. Now, sometimes poison plants are mistakenly built in hay. Now, other sources of poisoning in plants, in animals, in ruminants, occur when they graze pastures or plants on which herbicides or pesticides had been sprayed. In Nigeria, most of these herbicides or pesticides contain organophosphates, very dangerous. So, poisoning can also occur by ingestion of acaricides used for control of ectoparasites, especially when wrongly constituted or if expired acaricides are used. Yes, I just decided to bring pictures of some of these dangerous plants that animals commonly graze, poisonous plants. And one of them here is Calotropis procera, the giant milk weed. This is how it looks. Yeah, you can see it here. So if you see this on the pasture, you want to ensure you exterminate them completely because it can be very dangerous to your ruminants. Let's look at another one. Yes, here is another one. You have Erythrophilum africanum, African blackwood. This is how it looks. Oh, this even looks common. Some of you must have been seeing this around. So please ensure you avoid letting your ruminants get across these plants. Another one, let's look at one more. Yes, Ipomia ascarifolia. Oh, you can see it right there. Even has a flower there. Yes, this is dangerous to our ruminants. So these are some of those you want to try to avoid, that you don't get your animals unnecessarily under poisoning condition. All right. What are preventions or treatments you can offer for these poisoning conditions in ruminants? Ruminants should first not be allowed to graze in areas with poisonous plants. It is necessary to identify poisonous plants in areas grazed by ruminants. Very, very important. You have to recognize them. That's why we're even dealing with them right here, so you can know them and try to get rid of them from the pasture. Now, once ruminant animals is suspected to have grazed on a poisonous plant, the animal should be isolated and given fresh water and should not be stressed. Now, sample of the grazed or consumed material should be kept, and the veterinarian called for prompt action. It should be noted that younger animals are more susceptible to poison than older animals. Yes. This is a second class activity right here. Yes, I know you have just finished reading that. Please take note of this the first and the second class activity for today's topic. Very, very important. All right, this is where we'll be rounding up today. Till we meet next time, I say bye bye. Yeah, in summary, before I say bye bye, in summary, what have we done? Today, we have been able to, one, discuss some important metabolic and nutritional diseases of ruminants in Nigeria. Now, we have also seen the importance of adequate feeding of animals so as to prevent them from coming down with nutritional or metabolic diseases for maximum productivity. We examined why ruminants consume poisonous plants, the symptoms you can find, and sources of ruminant poison, and what the farmer can do when a case of plant poison is suspected. We also mentioned some common poisonous plants in Nigeria, and we also provided their pictures for recognition.